This hazy photo of a crippled or drowned dun was taken on our trout season opening day on the 15th of March 2014, and it got me thinking about a more pronounced rib on some of my emerger and dun patterns. This one, the LDO Emerger, is one of them. Here's another couple of photos of duns from opening day 2017. Starting behind the eye, I'm going to wind down the hook shank a few millimeters to secure the thread and then snip that off. And now I'm going to carry on down the shank towards the bend of the hook. I'm just going to tilt that hook down slightly so that the thread doesn't slip as I carry on around the bend of the hook. Now I'm going to take a length of number 10 Glo-Brite floss, bring it in underneath the hook and use it to lift the thread and then sit the floss down on the top of the hook. Take the tension on the thread, pull the floss through until I've got a short stub and then fasten it down onto the hook. I'll just pull away any loose strands of floss. Tilt the hook down slightly more and carry on. Once I'm about there, I'm ready for the abdomen. The abdomen is brown olive superfine dubbing. And I'm going to wind that onto the tying thread quite tightly. And then I'll start to wind it onto the hook, winding back up towards the eye and form a tapered body. Just straighten that up again. Just wind that a little bit tighter. Just want to make sure I get this taper right. Straighten that up again. And now it's in the position where I want to be to finish the fly. Breaking the length of the body into thirds, I'm looking at approximately 2/3 abdomen, 1/3 thorax. So once I'm in that position and I'm happy with the taper, I can think about ribbing. This floss is a multi-stranded material, so I just want to twist it initially to tighten the strands up and make it into a tight rope, and then I'll start to rib the thorax in open turns, keeping it quite close initially and then increasing the separation between turns slightly as I get up towards the thorax. Then once I reach the thorax area, I can fasten that down. Snip that off. Take a few turns to fasten it down and come back towards the abdomen to the rear half of the thorax area, and then I'm ready for attaching the wing. For the wing, I'm going to take one CDC feather and strip away the fibres at the base of the feather. And then I'm going to hold it against the hook, take one wrap with the thread, keep the tension on and pull it through. To gauge the length of the wing, I usually say it's approximately equivalent to the distance from the eye to the bend of the hook. I've taken another wrap to secure the feather and then I snip it off. Then I'll take another feather, strip away the fibres at the base, hold it against the hook, one wrap, keep the tension on, pull it through, use the first feather as a gauge, take another wrap to secure it and snip it off. For this particular fly I'm going to use 3 feathers. Normally I use anywhere between 2 and 4 feathers depending on their quality. So one wrap, keep the tension on, pull it through, use the other feathers as a gauge for the length, another wrap to hold it in position, snip it off, and now I'll take a few wraps of thread over those stubs just to fasten them down and hold them in position. And now it's time for the thorax. The thorax is a mix of hare's mask and pearl eye stub. Once I've got enough dubbing on there, wound down quite loosely, I'm going to fill that area in behind the wing. Put some more dubbing on. And then I'm going to take the CDC wings, hold them back and wind in front of them. And I want to wind tight into the base of those wings so that the dubbing will make them sit up. There we go, I want them pretty vertical. Now I'll take a little bit more dubbing to fill that area between the CDC wing and the eye. Tighten in front of that wing again. Stroke any fibres back. Take a few wraps. There's a couple of loose fibres above the eye that I'll snip off. And now I'll do a whip finish and remove the thread. That's it, I'll just snip that off. And now I'm going to take the Velcro dubbing brush and use it to tease out the Hare's mask and ice dub fibres. I'll do each side, stroke the fibres out in front of the wing, and then underneath the thorax. Then once I've done that, I'm going to take the scissors and cut away those long fibres below the thorax. Pull away any overly long fibres. One there to snip out. All I'm doing now is tidying the fly up, and once I'm happy with it, I'll take some varnish and varnish the head to finish the fly off. Snip that out. Just carefully varnish underneath. Take anything away from the eye if you get a bit in the eye. Touch of varnish on the top of the head. And that is the large dark olive or LDO Emerger.